Jim Hoops ENT presents super amazing film explanations.
The Death Star will be completed on schedule.
Welcome to Super Amazing Film Explanations. In this episode, I will be talking about Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, the most illogical and, dare I say, most broken Star Wars film of the series. Instead of starting at the beginning, let's look here at over 32 minutes into the film. We see Luke gesture to R2, which is the signal for R2 to launch Luke's lightsaber. On the surface, this does not look unusual, but in order for this to take place, it had to have been coordinated and planned. So let's look at all the things that had to have been coordinated just perfectly for this to take place. The droids successfully travel unaccompanied to Jabba's palace. Side note, look at all the signs of erosion and mud on a desert planet. Droids are granted access to talk with Jabba.
Good morning.
Jabba accepts the droids and does not destroy or torture them. Chewie is ransomed to Jabba.
Oh no, Chewbacca!
The person ransoming Chewie is not shot for holding a thermal detonator. Chewie is not executed. Lando is not discovered, which is quite monumental because the only black guy in the galaxy since Mace Windu should be easy to spot. No one wakes up from this klutz. Han happens to be safely thawed out. Jabba was waiting for Han to be thawed all along.
I know that laugh.
Everyone is awake all of a sudden. Finally, another black person in the galaxy. Luke successfully force chokes two guys on the way in. Jabba just happens to have a metal bikini laying around that fits Leia. Jabba disregards Luke's demands.
It's your choice, but I warn you not to underestimate my power.
Luke survives falling into the Rancor pit. Luke finds the perfect sized bone to stuff in the Rancor's mouth. There is an access panel in the Rancor pit with a rock nearby. Luke is able to throw this rock at the access panel to activate the door. The Rancor dies. Han, Chewie, and Luke are scheduled for execution at the same time and place.
His High Exaltedness, the great Jabba the Hutt, has decreed that you are to be terminated immediately.
Good, I hate long waits.
Luke cockily implies that this was all planned.
The last mistake you'll ever make.
So here we are again. Luke now has his lightsaber and starts clearing house. Boba Fett loses his rifle, does some weird thing with string from his wrist, and then the most overrated character in Star Wars unceremoniously dies. Leia is able to strangle Jabba without anyone intervening. Luke fires the cannon at the main ship. Our heroes safely escape.
Let's go, and don't forget the droids. Run away.
And this is what I call a perfectly executed plan, even if it makes absolutely zero sense when you think about it. Luke then goes and meets with Yoda on Dagobah.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
After Yoda whined like a baby in the last film about Luke needing to finish his training,
Luke, you must complete the training.
I can't keep the vision out of my head. They're my friends, I gotta help them.
we find out that Luke doesn't need any more training anyway.
I've come back to complete the training.
No more training do you require. Already know you. That which you need.
And then Yoda appears to become a victim of Thanos' snap.
You should have gone for the head.
But Luke isn't done learning. He learns that a Jedi ghost can still move branches, and that the hot sidekick that he made out with is his sister.
Leia. Leia is my sister.
Your insight serves you well.
Luke then goes to meet up with the fleet to discuss how to take down the second Death Star. Now this is a point where we see the sheer inadequacy of the Rebel Alliance. Han Solo, who has been absent from active duty since the Battle of Hoth and was a captain at the time,
Captain Solo,
is now a general.
General Solo, is your strike team assembled?
Also, Lando, who was apparently uninvolved previously, is also a general.
General Calrissian has volunteered to lead the fighter attack.
Good luck.
And he is tasked with the most important job, which is knocking out the Death Star's reactor. Han decides to make Lando's job easier by letting him take the Falcon.
I mean it. Take her. You need all the help you can get. She's the fastest ship in the fleet.
Wait, did something change? How did the Falcon go from the fastest ship in the galaxy
Fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
to just the fastest ship in the fleet?
Fastest ship in the fleet.
Next we see Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, and a strike team take a stolen Imperial shuttle to Endor to deactivate the energy shield protecting the Death Star. Yada yada yada, they make it to Endor. Yada yada yada, Han Solo is cocky and screws things up. Yada yada, Luke and Leia get on some speeder bikes. Yada yada, Leia gets concussed. Yada yada, she is rescued by an Ewok, aka a 1980s Jar Jar Binks. The Ewok takes Leia to his tree village, and the rest of the group also gets taken to the village as hostages, or maybe they are being delivered as food. Either way, they all make it there. But look, how convenient. For the second time in this film, there is unexpected clothing laying around that perfectly fits Leia. Hashtag George Lucas lacks common sense. Later on, Leia then bold-faced lies about remembering her biological mother.
Just images, really. Feelings.
Tell me.
Very beautiful. Kind. But sad.
Because we all know she died when Leia was moments old. Luke then defies the dying words of Yoda and leaves the strike team to go see Vader.
Do not underestimate the powers of the Emperor, or suffer your father's fate. You will.
Then some shady foreshadowing.
The Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. And my sister has it.
But let's be honest, that one time in The Last Jedi is just malarkey. Luke then lets Leia know that she is his sister.
It's you, Leia.
She then talks about how she always knew.
Somehow, I've always known.
Which kinda makes their kiss on Hoth even grosser.
I've always known. I've always known. I've always known.
We also learn that Leia is on her period.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I just want to be alone for a little while.
Luke then goes to meet up with Vader on Endor, and he then goes with him to the Death Star. The Emperor, who clearly does not get enough vitamin D, hashtag pastyface, lets Luke know that the attack on the shield generator by the strike team is a trap.
Your friends up there on the Sanctuary Moon are walking into a trap, as is your rebel fleet.
And boy oh boy, is it a trap.
An entire legion of my best troops awaits them.
But that's okay. There are some fat monkeys that will take down a garrison of stormtroopers. So the moral of the story is the only thing better than a bunch of men with guns is a bunch of short hairy apes with sticks. LOL, this crazy Ewok took a nap, and since it is the 1980s, the lazy one is black. If there is anything worse than real racism, it is racism amongst fictional hairy trolls in space operas. We also see that the rebel Mon Calamari cruiser is stronger than Alderaan.
That blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
The shield generator does eventually get knocked out.
The shield is down. Commence attack on the Death Star's main reactor.
Yada yada, Luke, Vader, and the Emperor get into some boring philosophical discussions.
Young fool. Only now, at the end, do you understand?
Lando then knocks out the Death Star's reactor, proving that you do not have to follow some witchcraft space ninja religion to be a hero. Vader then turns on the Emperor, Vader then dies, and then rains down debris on Endor that eventually kills off the scourge of the universe that is the Ewoks, and then ghosts in Isis robes. In closing, I just want to make a very common sense point that everyone seems to overlook when talking about Star Wars. The Death Star being destroyed is by no means proof that the Empire is vanquished. Yes, we see all the cities celebrating, but come on. No matter how oppressive a government is, the power vacuum of a government disappearing is equally scary. Also, of all the unrealistic things in the Star Wars films, it is grossly illogical to assume that every form of leadership and succession of leadership of the Galactic Empire happened to be in the vicinity of the forest moon of Endor.